Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Seminary. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. Now, let me tell you people something. There is something that I have noticed about Latinos. These people are not talking about what is going on in their community, but they want you to go out there and fight for them. The same people that said that they will not support Black people's reparations, but they want you to go out there and put out your bodies for them. That is one of the reasons why each time I say that I am so proud of my people, I don't know the kind of I have been seeing people with foresight, but I have never thank God, thank goodness that I started talking about Black history, because it has opened my eyes to so many things. I know people have foresight, but Black people's foresight is like 100 side, because I don't know how you people are able to see all this. Black people saw ahead of time. They warned everybody. But this is it. This is where we are. And with everything going on, I am not saying Latinos stepping out, talking about what is happening to them. They are still quiet, waiting for the people, their bodyguards, to come and speak for them. I have never seen people like this. The same people that are too quick to talk about Black people. You want my own people to step up for you. For what? And I am going to say this I am seeing so many Black MAGAs, and I am asking, is everything okay in you people's kingdom? Let's get into this video.
Why does a person that never was a slave deserve compensation from a person that never owned a slave?
Bank of America and much of the U.S. financial system were built on the profits from slavery, using enslaved people as loan collateral and even owning them when debts weren't paid. These same institutions, which grew into billion-dollar corporations from the slavery of our ancestors, continue to uphold systems of institutional racism that today prevent Black people from building generational wealth. The horrors of slavery didn't end with emancipation. They left deep scars that still shape the lives of Black people today. This inherited trauma, known as post-traumatic slave syndrome, is rooted in generations of violence, ripped apart families, and stolen identity. It continues to affect mental health, family relationships, and the overall well-being of Black people. The U.S. government has paid reparations to Japanese Americans interned during World War II, and even Americans held hostage in Iran. Yet the only people paid for slavery were the slave owners for losing their slaves after the Civil War. The victims of slavery were never paid. Our ancestors were stolen and endured some of the most violent atrocities in human history. So white people in this country could build their largely unearned generational wealth that they still sit on today, while Black people have been systemically denied the right to build and pass down the wealth we fought hard to earn for generations. Because every single time we did build, for example, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, the whites burned down the entire town and slaughtered every single Black person that they could find. You stole our ancestors. You stole their labor, which made the U.S. an economic superpower. You stole their futures. You dehumanized, brutalized, and traumatized them. Then that generational trauma was passed down to their descendants, who you continue to traumatize and brutalize with your systems of oppression put into place to limit and prevent us from creating generational wealth. And you refuse to dismantle your systems of oppression, because that would be admitting that white prosperity was built on Black suffering. But you still owe for the centuries of unspeakable atrocities, because reparations are not charity. It's an unpaid debt that you owe.
Why does a person that never was a slave deserve compensation from a person that never owned a slave?
The fact that this question is coming from a person of color makes this all the more despicable. But since you've shown the world how little you know about history and finances in this country, let me help you out just a little bit. And you don't need a college education to know this, maybe high school at the very least. You ready? The same way that generational wealth can be passed down through generations, generational debt can also be passed down through generations. If the descendants of slave owners who created these multi-billion-dollar financial institutions off of the free, back-breaking, unending 4 centuries, 12 to 16 generations of chattel slavery is still benefiting from that wealth today in 2025, then why shouldn't the descendants of those slaves be able to have the debt paid to them that was never paid to their ancestors? It doesn't matter if the people now didn't own the slaves. What matters is that they are still benefiting from the wealth that was created because of those slaves who were never paid. Do you understand that? This is not rocket science, my friend. It's common sense, and clearly you're showing the world that you're void of it. And I'm not really sure what you're hoping to get out of this, but if you think your pandering, pick-me-ass behavior is going to get those same descendants of that generational wealth to give you a few dollars, then you have truly lost your mind. You will never be picked. You will never be in the situation that Black people are in today to be owed that generational debt. Because your ancestors, unless you are the descendants of African slaves, did not survive these horrific atrocities only to never be compensated. Baby, we didn't even get the 40 acres and the mule that was promised to us. But guess who did get paid for the losses that they incurred? I'm just going to go ahead on and tell you, because if you're asking this question, you're never going to be able to figure it out. The slave owners, which provided more wealth that they were able to invest and turn into business, multiply exponentially, and pass down through generations. I hope that helps you. And in other unbelievably disturbing news, another episode of Coon Church Chronicles, the MAGA Madness edition. Y'all ain't gonna believe this one.
The social media people that think we didn't gave up on President Donald Trump. We haven't given up on President Donald Trump, and this video is for you. All the Trump supporters in here, just get up and say, hell, hell. We're gonna take a stand. We're gonna take a stand. We're gonna take a stand all across this land. Hell, hell, hell. Let's go.
Now, those of you who know me know that it is rare to render me speechless, but when I tell you this almost did, but my question to them is, what are you celebrating about Donald Trump? Is it that he is trying to rewrite history and erase our ancestors' footprints and the contributions that they made to this country? You know, those ancestors that built this country on their backs, 400 years of slavery? Or is it the fact that he is trying to rename military bases back to the names of the treasonous Confederate generals that turned their backs on this country and took up arms against their own country for the sole reason of protecting the institution of slavery? Or is it the fact that he is trying to erase our history and culture from schools and libraries so that the next generation won't have any idea of the role that we played in this country? Or are you celebrating the fact that Donald Trump thinks so highly of us that he included even one of us in his cabinet? Is that what it is? Because if so, I missed that. Maybe you can help me out on who that is. If your ancestors could see you now, they would be rolling over in their graves. I will add to that and say they are doing somersaults in their graves after seeing something like that. You are most certainly the descendants of the slaves that tricked on the slaves that were trying to flee their imprisonments and evade capture. The one that went to Massa and told on them. Them was your ancestors. Where is this church located? Because I'm feeling like some black folks need to go there and show them what church is really about. It's absolutely wild that in 2025, there are black people out there still shucking and jiving for Massa. But lo and behold, that's what you just saw. And it's despicable. Absolutely despicable.
This is all I got from this video. And one thing I have noticed about these people that are ready and very quick to ask some silly question is that these people are not even talking about what is going on in their community, because their community at this point in time is burning. They are not talking about what is happening in their community, but they are so much interested in what is going on in black community. And when they are usually interested in what is going on in black community, it is not usually the positive one, always the negative one, but that is who they are. Are they gonna stop? I am not sure, because there are the people, you know, that are pot calling kettle black. They are in their fence, fighting their battle, or they are in their fence, ignoring their battle, but want to ask black people, how far, how are you all? You want to die or you want to continue to live? I ain't got time for them anymore. See, they have built alligator Alcatraz for them. They are not saying anything. They are out there tap dancing because majority of them voted for this administration. So how do you want them to speak? But they want my own people to go out there and die for their sins. Who does that? Shit ain't happening. Did you hear what yesterday, July 4th, what the president said about indentured servitude, like slavery? And it's also, he's talking about them because they will be the one working more in the fields and the farmer will own them. I haven't seen anybody. I checked around. I didn't see them talk about that. But they are always very quick to talk about black people, to ask questions. But yeah, I leave that man. He is ignorant. Wait, what were those black people rapping? What were they talking about with that hat? What were they doing with that hat? Let me ask. You know, I just do not understand some people, but I do not know how in 2025 a black man is a MAGA or a black woman is a MAGA. It cannot be my mother. If you were my mother, I'm so sorry, but yeah, I am enlightened, right? My mother is too. But if you were my mother, that same day, she comes back, we are having a discussion, and she will never try it again. Probably whatever she's doing is out of ignorance. But it cannot be my mother because she knows what is good from what is bad. I don't know how much they are paying them, but some people can really be coons, you know, cooning around. Because tell me, they are old. Can't you see how old they are? They know the left from right. This is not something like, I don't know, but maybe they are getting something out of it, because it cannot be me and my household doing shit like this on the internet. I recorded it and put it out. For those that know who they are, might be somebody, they are somebody's parents, of course, somebody's husband and wife. I give up. Bye for now.